Okay, so we created a meeting that English 101 that requires that people are registered for the meeting, and we sent the invitation. I sent the invitation to my alias, and that is my personal email account. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this meeting, and we're going to look at some of the interface and what you can do to manage some of the safety settings or the security settings inside your Zoom meeting. And we'll be talking about screen sharing and how to manage participants. So let me join the meeting. And so now we have another person in the meeting. This is my ID from the my personal Gmail account. I was required to put in a name and my email address so that it matched the person that was invited. So now I want to go down to manage participants. You can see that we have 2 participants. That is me as the host and my alter ego and my personal email account. So I can unmute from here, and if I click on more, I can, let me just slide this over just a little bit so we can see it better. I can request that the participant start their video. I can give them privileges as a host or co-host. I can give them permission to record the meeting. I can rename them, and I can put them on hold. When you put them on hold, which I'm going to do right now, it will tell you who's on hold, and as you can see, it is essentially that they're not in the meeting at all. You don't see them listed in the meeting anymore. Other participants would not see them in the meeting either. So I can take them off hold, and then here they are back joining the meeting again. So that's one way to remove someone from the meeting that's being disruptive, who perhaps belongs in the meeting but just is not behaving properly. Or you can remove them entirely. I have this meeting set up so that if they are removed, they cannot rejoin. And that works especially well when you require people to register because they can't rejoin under their own registration information. And so once they're out, they are actually out and can't simply just change their name or user information to get in. There's one other thing down here I would like to show you. Let me move this up a little bit because I don't think you'll be able to see it very well. But under more, let me move that over again. We can allow participants to unmute themselves, but by checking this, I can make it so that they cannot unmute themselves. So if I mute everyone, they're muted. And so if you do have a lot of people talking at the same time or trying to take over the meeting, you can simply mute everyone and then unmute or make it so that they don't have the ability to unmute themselves. And then the same works for the ability to rename themselves. So if you don't want them changing their identities on the list, then you can also change that. But the most important feature here, I think, is to lock the meeting. Once you have everyone in the meeting that belongs in the meeting, you can lock the meeting and then no one else can join. So we've got everyone in the meeting right now that we want in the meeting, and no one else can join us. I want to also talk a little about the share screen. If you recall, I set it up so that only the host could share their screen. But under this menu, we have the ability to change that. We can make it so that multiple participants can share simultaneously. If I click on advanced sharing options, I can also change so that all participants can share, and then who can start sharing when someone else is sharing? Again, only the host. So right now we have only the host sharing, and we might leave it that way until and unless you have students in your group, in your meeting, that you want to be able to share.